In fact, as we speak about social media, I've come across one of the posts by Vincent Magwenya, who you know is the presidency spokesperson, replying to a post from Elon Musk where he makes reference to a political statement made by Julius Malema. And part of what Vincent Magwenya says, in fact, his opening line is, "Please get a grip." Vincent Magwenya, for me, has always come across as somebody with relative calm and is usually measured. And I wouldn't imagine him making a statement like this. But I suppose these are the times we're in. Sometimes, in some instances, you need more direct statements at some of these remarks that are being made. And this might very well be a case in point. He goes on, Vincent Magwenya, to mention, of course, that the videos that Elon Musk refers to are old, and he says that you can easily verify them. Let's continue then our discussion in this vein. In a stunning display of unity, South Africans from all walks of life coming together on social media to condemn the latest developments regarding these perceived land grabs and cutting off of finance, at least financial assistance from the US. The strong response on social media reflects not only a collective concern, but also a profound sense of national pride among many South Africans. Let's pick up on that angle of the discussion. Bring in now social media analyst Vuyo Mhlotshane, who's with us, as you can see, via our video link. Vuyo, it's lovely to see you. Thanks very much indeed for making time. I wonder if you are able to keep up with the many different issues that are coming to the fore on social media. I mean, this started off with concerns apparently in the US around land grabs, but it's really exposed so many other things, including the very racialized tone that this has all taken and, you know, South Africa's own history when it comes to how we relate to land.
100%, 100%. I think what's happening here is that we're seeing a transformation in terms of the tools when it comes to activism, mobilizing how they organize and amplify their voices on a global scale. So I think it's a very interesting time that we're living in.
Yeah. Speak to us then about the tool that is social media in driving some of these discussions. I remember when it was Twitter then, started gaining momentum. Amongst the big criticisms that were raised is the restriction that it provides in really getting to the substance of issues, you know, perception that, for example, you can't really have a constructive conversation about complex issues like the history of dispossession in South Africa. Are you finding that this is changing?
100%. I think when you're talking about Twitter, it just reminds me of the movement that took place when you think about hashtag Feast Must Fall, not in my name. So you're seeing a massive backlash that's taking place with regards to the decision that Donald Trump has taken in order to cut the financial assistance that he's giving to South Africa. So that is an example of how social media is uniting us, even across the various racial, economic, and political divides that are taking place. So I think it's having a massive, massive scale. And this is just in response to that.
Yeah. What's great, of course, about such platforms is that you're able to meet a lot of like-minded people. The pitfall of that is that you're also able to get very easily into echo chambers, people who reaffirm your worldview. And I have no doubt this is the same in this particular case. And I wonder to what extent you reckon, though, that people are able to break through those echo chambers and actually have conversations with people who disagree.
100%. I think it's a wonderful discussion that South Africans are having with regards to the diverse backgrounds that we're coming from. But now we're utilizing social media to condemn what Donald Trump's decision is. And this is showcasing a rare moment in terms of how the national unity is looking, right? And we're also exploring the various campaigns, the hashtags that are taking place. So we're united against, hashtag united against Donald Trump as an example, and hashtag we are South Africans. So this is also looking at it, whether it's locally or globally, we're all geared up in terms of the patriotism and the solidarity that's taking place. So I think the social media is definitely shaping the public opinion.
Yeah. You know, I'm two minds about social media still, despite how much I use it for my own work. On the one hand, I think it's very easy for issues on social media to be a whole lot more amplified than they actually are. But on the other, I cannot dispute the fact that what happens on that space can have a material change or cause a material change in people's lived experiences. The question then is, to what extent are you reckoning that issues around this are being amplified to being a whole lot more than they actually are? Or do you think the discourse on social media could actually, for example, change perceptions that may very well lead to a Donald Trump changing his mind?
I think it can definitely change people's perceptions because it's definitely also impacting how people look at policies. So it's shifting the awareness, the public awareness that's taking place. So I think it's also just addressing those social injustices that have taken place. So with regards to social media and the potential that it has in terms of bridging what is happening with South Africans and fostering the sense of that shared purpose, it's making a big difference.
All right. Vuyo Mhlotshane, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. Really do appreciate your insights as we take stock of social media as a tool and its ability to drive narratives. I mean, we are living in a world where the president of one of the largest economies in the world is communicating incredibly important policy positions on social media. Diplomacy, if you ask me, has completely changed, at least insofar as interacting with that country is concerned. And there you have just one of the many tweets that we've seen, in this particular one from Donald Trump speaking about his instructions to their Secretary of State to further investigate what he reckons is land grabs in the country. You and I both know, of course, that that simply isn't happening. South Africa isn't confiscating land. And certainly there are people who've pushed back against the perception that the country is treating certain classes very badly. We've already seen the presidency coming out to say that they're going to double down on their diplomatic channels to try and engage with their various counterparts in the US government to try and get to the bottom of where these perceptions actually stem from, but more importantly, to set the record straight about what's actually happening in South Africa. Ibrahim Rasool, of course, is South Africa's ambassador to the US. It's his second rodeo in this position. Hopefully, that's come with a lot of experience that will help him navigate what really is a baptism of fire in some instances, given, of course, just how quickly the situation has changed in a short space of time. So we'll keep watching the situation in the United States for you as it continues to unfold and get you a sense of what the way forward looks like. Hopefully, in just a moment, we'll speak to the sociological aspects of what is taking place. I mean, what has foregrounded the debate has really been issues to do with land and land reform, but many people will tell you that there's a whole lot more at play here. For one, in his executive order, Donald Trump citing South Africa's genocidal intent case to the International Court of Justice as part of the reasons why he is now halting all funding to the country, which again points to a whole lot more issues than these supposed land grabs that initially seems to have sparked the discussion. But that issue is also playing itself very much in domestic politics, given, of course, the many discussions that have come about here in South Africa between, frankly, people who don't necessarily come from the same background and therefore don't enjoy the same economic benefits.